What if everything you're complaining about was actually the medicine? Now, before we get into that, good morning, everyone. And thank you so much for joining me here on a brand new episode of Shaar Habechinah. Now, imagine a hospital filled with blind patients, and every resource has been carefully prepared for them, and special beds, medications that are labeled in Braille, and special equipment to help them heal. And an expert doctor stands ready to restore their vision. But instead of listening to the physician, the patients, they rummage around and they find different medicines in the shelves, then they take random bottles and knock over machines and hurt themselves. And when things get even worse for them, who do they blame? They blame the doctor, the one person who came to heal them. This, Chavos Havava says, is us. We are those blind people. We've been placed in a world with all the tools to discover the truth, to find peace, and to connect to our Creator, to Hashem. And Hashem built this world as a perfectly designed hospital, so to speak, to heal our spiritual blindness. But instead of turning the Torah to emunah and betachon, to guidance, and we're listening to our physician, we just rummage around the world and we grab whatever we can, and we do so blindly, and we're trying to fix ourselves. But we wind up stumbling over everything because we're not doing it right. We don't know what the medication is. And so here's the question. Are we actually seeing life clearly, or are we just bumping into furniture of existence and just blaming the world when we fail? This parable continues, and he says like this, is these blind patients, they rejected the healing process from these doctors, and they mocked the very one person who was trying to actually help them, and they called the hospital director a cheat, a fraud, someone who is a manipulator, and they claimed that the whole place was set up just for misery. It was there just to make their lives difficult. Does that sound familiar to you? Does that complaint sound familiar to you? So many people look at the world today and say, if there's a God, then why is there so much suffering? But they don't follow his prescription, so to speak. They don't follow his recommended dosage of medication, and they ignore all the spiritual tools that he gave them. And they refuse to let him open their eyes. They refuse to get healed from the spiritual blindness. And then what happens is they just keep on going on life in complete misery. And Chavos Havava is warning us, don't live your life like a blind man in a hospital who thinks he knows better than the doctor. The Torah is our medication, and Hashem is our physician, so to speak. And we weren't meant to stumble around the world and hurt ourselves. We were meant to see. Now, the world is not the problem. Our perspective is the issue. Our blindness is the issue. And we are the ones who choose to ignore the prescriptions, the guidance, the light. We have some super fans over there in the back. That was a fun interruption. The world is not our problem. Our perspective is our problem. It's our blindness. We are the ones who choose to ignore the prescriptions and the guidance and the light that Hashem, who's our physician here in this metaphor, he set for us. And until we don't open our eyes, and until we don't embrace his wisdom, we're going to remain lost. We're going to remain rummaging around this world, trying to find the right prescription, and we're going to stumble and hurt ourselves when in actuality Hashem designed this world to heal us. So I ask you, are you going to keep wandering around the dark, pretending to know what's best? Or are you going to open your eyes to the truth, to finally trust the one who designed this hospital with perfect care, who placed us here for, to heal, and who longs for us to see the world and our place in it so clearly? The choice is ours. It always was ours. The question is, are you ready to see? Thank you, everyone, for joining us on a brand new episode, and I love you all.